All right, we are set. All right, everybody, you're here again for the next episode of Drew's Small Business Spotlight. My original 3:30 person had some technical difficulties and had to back out, so I had to call in the big guns. For those that don't know, this is my dad, Alfred Swersky, retired circuit court judge, and now he does mediating. And as you know, mediating is a group of people that have a disagreement, and he has to help them solve that disagreement. They're all in the same room usually. And so he's had to pivot his business as well. And so I wanted to talk to him today. And so why not bring him in? Pop, tell us a little bit, man. How long were you a judge, and when did you retire and all that?
Actually, I've been in the practice of law and a judge for 54 years this month. And I was a judge, an active circuit court judge in the city of Alexandria until July 1st of 2003. And since that time, which is now almost 17 years, I have been retired and doing these mediations that Drew just described. That is where we have parties to a dispute, get together, meet, usually almost always represented by attorneys, and work with them to see if they can't resolve the dispute themselves rather than go to court and ask for files and cases. And we've been very, very, very successful with it.
Yeah, so for those that don't know how a mediation works, it's two rooms and you go between each room at different times, right? Or can you tell it a little better than that?
Yeah, you start out all together, and you want everybody to be as collegial and as nice. And sometimes it's hard to do, obviously, where people are in serious disputes. But you try to keep this atmosphere of pleasantry, civility, professionalism. Start out all together, then you do break out into not just, it could be 2 or 3 rooms. And the job of the mediator is to go back and forth between those rooms, conveying thoughts, rationales, offers, demands, what have you, in an effort to get the parties together. One of the things I like about the process is we really don't have any rules. You can do whatever you want. You can bring everybody back together. You can meet the lawyers privately or a lawyer privately. And as I said, literally do whatever it takes to get these parties to agree.
I mean, that's very cool. So this pandemic that we're going through definitely put through a monkey wrench in your business, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the prime hallmarks of a successful mediator is to develop a trust that those people in those rooms have in you, even though you're not a decision maker. You have to do that with close personal contact.
Right.
And this, of course, the virus thing just took all of that away. We're never going to have a mediation where people are all together, not in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, you're thinking long term.
Long term, very long term.
And so you had to pivot and shift how you do business, and it got you way out of your comfort zone, right? Tell us how you had to pivot and shift your business.
Way, way, way out of my comfort zone. Drew will tell you every time he took me to buy a new cell phone, he would tell the tech at the store that I was technology impaired. So all of this stuff was fairly new to, not fairly new, was new to me. We were supposed to do in a group I'm with, do Zoom training, and for other reasons I couldn't get in that group. So Drew had to come over to my house, set up the Zoom on my computer, and basically teach me how to use it. And I've used it, and I want to say successfully, at least 4 or 5 times in the last couple of weeks. So it's been a whole new world for me, whole new world.
Those of you playing Zoom bingo, a dog barking just hit. You can stamp it now. That was my dog, my bad. So just by Zoom alone, you still have to build the rapport. You still have to, now, the way it works in that is that you set up multiple Zoom rooms and you have to go back and forth between these Zoom rooms, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Now tell me how much fun that was trying to figure that part out.
Actually, it wasn't too bad. You were a pretty good teacher. You showed me how to do it. And the Zoom stuff was was fairly easy on the screen, telling you what to, you can mute one room and then move to the other room, and or you could bring everybody back together. And quite frankly, after going through it with you, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, well, that makes me feel better, because I was worried about that. I don't know if you remember, but your first one, I came over and was like, I'm going to hang out for a second to make sure. But I'm glad you got it right. And so you've been doing this for a while, and you had your own business way back in the day when you were a lawyer. What kind of advice would you give to other small business owners that are kind of stuck in this and feeling the pinch right now?
The first thing I think I would suggest is that you learn how to think out of the box. You can't be restricted to the old ways of doing things, because we just can't do it anymore. So look at things differently. Think out in your individual business how you can maintain the kind of contact with your customers and your clients that you need to maintain. Find some way to do that. The second thing I would tell you to do is to keep a very positive attitude. People are very good little radar screens, and if you're down and depressed about what's happening to your business, it's going to come across to them. So I would say maintain a positive attitude. And even now, in doing something like this, like we're doing right here, there are ways you can convey that attitude to your clients and to your customers that you're still thinking positive. A good sense of humor is always a great tool, whether it's retail work, legal work, or whatever it is. And if you can maintain that kind of attitude, even with the remote connections that we have, I think that really comes across to your customers and would be a big help to you.
Man, that's huge. One thing that, I coach too, and the one thing we're talking about is relationship.
Right.
Right. And it sounds like to me that you can still build a relationship this way. It's a little more difficult, but at times it's necessary. How do you think the courts are affected? Do you think that the courts are doing stuff like this we're doing right now instead of bringing people in, or are they just shut down?
They're just shut down, basically. What happened in Virginia was the Supreme Court ordered all cases on hold. There are no courts, there are no jury trials, and the only time people have access to the courts is if there is a true emergency. A lot of the criminal cases and stuff they're proceeding in limited fashion, but the old days of a jury trial and having a court day when you have a courtroom full of people is just over for now, and I'm not sure how long that's going to last. At least until May 8th in Virginia.
Yeah. So a lot of people I know, and actually the person who was supposed to be on here today, their businesses are closed. Like they can't do anything. Is there any advice that you offer those folks from afar? I mean, not knowing exactly what to say, but what would you tell someone whose business is closed until this is over?
I would say continue to reach out to your clients, your customers, people in your database. Reach out and let them know you're still there. And if you have some alternate way, if you have some service that you could provide to them, offer it to them. Find a way to do it. But I think the main thing would be this is not going to last forever. This is going to pass. And if you lose contact with that client base or that database that you have of people who've been your customers or your clients, that's going to really hurt you in the next 5 years. So I would say maintain the contact. Send them a nice note. Tell them, we're closed right now, but we anticipate being reopened hopefully this summer. Please let us know if there's anything we can do for you in the meantime. Just maintain that kind of contact. And as I said, keep that positive attitude. That's the only thing I think you can do.
Man, it sounds like you and I rehearsed this. Because I mean, we didn't rehearse this, but that's literally the message that we're trying to get across to people is to maintain the relationship, maintain contact, check on people, right? People need to be checked on. And the good thing is that now they're going to answer the phone. They might not have answered the phone before, but now they're bored. They're tired of Judge Judy. They may answer the phone, right?
Exactly.
And give
and
back
again, that cheerful attitude is can go, and it does. If you offer to do something for them, it doesn't have to necessarily be a business deal. It can be something. What do you need? You need somebody to take your clothes to the laundry. You need somebody to mow your lawn. I'm happy to come by and help you out in the meantime, because we all have to stick together. So it could be something like that. Something like that.
now you guys see where I get it from, man. That my dad is very much like me, and I made a post, Dad, on Facebook, and I just said, if anybody needs anything, I won't put you on blast. Send me a message and let me know how I can help you. And I had a woman reach out to me in my messages and say her sister didn't have any groceries and had lost her job and had 2 children. And so, Sheila, my team leader, Sheila Quadros, told me a secret with Instacart is to get on in the morning early, do your cart at night, have it set up, but don't hit send, and get on early in the morning. And so I set up a cart with a bunch of water, a bunch of Gatorade, juice boxes, Lunchables, lunch meat, bread, and I sent it to the woman this morning, right?
Exactly what I'm talking about. Drew,
Now,
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That might not be enough to get them through forever, but it's we're there to help, and being there to help people when you can is something we all should do. And I know
Absolutely.
I got that from you. I mean, you've been doing that since I can remember. I got that from you.
I don't know. Maybe I got it from you.
Maybe. Okay. So, is there anything else that you want to add before we kind of go into down some rabbit holes here?
No, I really can't. I think it's just so important that everybody stay positive, and it's also important that everybody do what they're supposed to do. It's very frustrating to me, I guess maybe that's my old age, to see people who are absolutely defiant about the stuff that will help defeat this virus. And it really bothers me when people do that. So 2 things: do what you're supposed to do and stay safe and be happy if you can.
Be happy?
Yeah.
Be happy. Stay home.
Stay home. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. I agree, man. And staying in here is not fun either, believe me. So last thing, what's the last movie you watched?
The last movie that I watched,
Yep.
There's a great old movie. I say old, it's relatively old. It's one of my favorites. I've probably seen it 25 to 30 times. It was on again this morning. It's called Secondhand Lions with Robert Duvall and Michael Caine, and it's a great story. It's a great positive story, and it's a great happy ending.
Okay. Last book you read?
I'm reading about 3 different books right now, mostly American history. The Founding Fathers are a particular area of interest of mine, so I have about 3 books going on that.
Okay. I'm in the middle of a book called The Untethered Soul. It's about your brain and your thoughts. So it's something that you probably got to get into about this time, right? And then of course,
yes,
Gary Keller's The Shift. I got to read that. Got to plug Uncle Gary. He's helped us a lot during this. Okay. So any last words before we roll, man? I kept you I said 15 minutes, and we're at 13 minutes right now.
No, but I think things like you're doing here are great for the community, and we all need to have this sense of community that I think you're trying to pursue here. And again, I'll repeat it: stay positive, stay upbeat, keep your sense of humor, and keep in contact with one another as best you can.
And you're not just saying that because we're related, are you?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. So that's all I got. And I listen, I appreciate you bailing me out. And you were the best guest so far, man. No offense to anyone else. And I'm not just saying that because we share the same DNA. But thank you. And I appreciate it. All right.
Thanks for giving me the chance to talk to people.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if there are any questions. See if anybody has any questions real quick. Let me look.
Okay.
Nope. They just said, nope, no,
okay.
No. Somebody said we look alike. Okay. Hi, Drew's dad. Hi, Judge Swersky. Okay. So if there are any questions, you can type them in there now. If not, I'm gonna let him get back to doing nothing like us.
If you do get some questions later on, let me know and I'll answer them for you. You can send the answers out.
Great. All right, Pop. Well, listen, I appreciate it. I'm very grateful for you. And, we don't hang out as much and we don't have our every Sunday breakfast, but we'll be back soon enough, man.
Absolutely.
And I love you, man. I love you very much.
Love you too, man.
All right.
Love you too.
Let me end this. Boom.